The people of Jacksonville and the people of the Tax Slayer Bowl want the players to enjoy their time here. What has changed for them, and what do you guys have to guard against tonight?
And then, oh, by the way, after Kentucky, the Vols have to travel to Ole Miss. Look at Ken's face. Ken seems to disagree with that assessment.
Mona doesn't know you very well.
Do we even need a microphone for stuff? Thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for someone.
Road information closer to home. Knoxville Police Department just tweeting out a couple minutes ago that most secondary roads remain covered in snow and slush, as Ken was saying earlier, so please drive cautiously. TDOC spokesperson Mark Nagy joining us. Mark, we appreciate it. We want to go to WAT 6 on your side meteorologist Trent McGill, who was at the station earlier and now he is out on the roads. Trent, where exactly are you and what are the road conditions like?
And at 8 o'clock, they line up on the streets, and right at the stroke of 8, they rush in with their tents to set up for tomorrow's tailgate. And both guys talked about how exciting it was to join Tennessee after the season the Vols just had.
Ken, not so much snow and ice, but we're not exactly out of the woods yet. So keeping your wallet full, your stomach full, and being healthy at the same time. Jamie Fromberger, thanks so much. We saw Trent McGill pop up earlier. Trent, what would you give yourself, like a 2-star, 1-star rating?
5.
Coming out of high school? I don't know that he would be a 5. I think he's being a little generous there.
5.5.
Breaking the rating system. What position? At bench warmer? He was a really good high school manager from what I hear. Hey, coming up tonight, make sure you join us for our Tennessee Tailgate Signing Day special. We will be live out at Smoky Mountain Brewery beginning at 7:30 to wrap up the day. And I'm Michael Spencer. We will get to our top stories in just a moment, but first, a quick check of today's forecast. Ken, lots of fog out there. Thanks so much, Ken. Hey, now's a good time to download our WAT 6 on your side weather app. Mona, you and I both have it on our phones. Cumberland County has the most power outages anywhere in the state. At last check, more than 25,000 customers are still in the dark. Some of our neighbors are still in the dark from Monday's storm. Many of them are with Fort Loudoun Electric. Fort Loudoun Electric serves people in Loudoun, Blount, and Monroe counties. Here's the latest outage map. About 300 customers without power right now. And if you look closely, you can see the hard hats on the map. That's where crews are working currently to get the power back on. There is a park closure we need to tell you about as well. We have just learned that Cades Cove is closed right now. Great Smoky Mountain officials tell us there's no access to that part of the park due to the weather yesterday. But as conditions warm up outside, that may change. This morning, we've learned 3 more people have died after this week of winter storms. 2 of them were in Sevier County, killed by hypothermia. But even with these new numbers, more people have died from the weather in Knox County than anywhere else in the state. Right now, the death toll across Tennessee is 21, most from car accidents and hypothermia. 4 of those deaths were here in Knox County. We've also learned that the fire, which killed 3 people Thursday in North Knox County, has been ruled an accident, most likely caused by a wood stove. The medical examiner determined James and Edith Overton and their disabled adult son Derek all died from smoke. Another man in Knox County died in a car accident. The damage from the storm yesterday wasn't limited to Cumberland County. A viewer sent us this picture showing an entire section of Springs Dock Resort in La Follette has collapsed. Boats also appear to be damaged after the roof fell in. Some of the docks at Twin Cove Marina in Caryville also gave way. Reports of dock collapses coming in from at least 3 marinas in East Tennessee. And at radio station 105.7 in Crossville, their tower actually came down. Now, before the tower came down, chunks of ice fell into the transmitter building, damaging some equipment. No word on when all of that will be fixed, but their last post on Facebook says they're working diligently to get back on the air. And as WAT 6 on your side reporter Whitney Good was driving to Crossville to cover the storm, she drove by this wreck on Interstate 40 near the Crab Orchard exit. You can see the tractor trailer there overturned. Much of the highway in Cumberland County was shut down at some point on Saturday with ice, downed trees, and power lines. TDOT telling everyone to avoid that area if at all possible. Hard to believe it's already that time of the year, and there's an event going on in Knoxville to help families on a budget find the perfect dress for the big day, all at a major discount. That is coming up. Well, Lori and Kristen, it started early. You know, the students didn't have school today, so I think they started pre-gaming when they woke up this morning, and Thompson Bowling Arena was rocking all night tonight. And you would expect that with the #1 team in the nation in town, Tennessee, looking to hand Kentucky its first loss of the season. Donnie Tyndall
busting out the orange coat. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Shot clock winding down. Tyler Eulis able to beat the buzzer, putting the Wildcats up by 3, but on the next trip down, Devin Balkman with a 3 of his own. That would tie things at 13. Under 5 to go in the first half. Tennessee defense to offense. The steal here, and then Kevin Punter finishes at the bucket. Tennessee actually had the lead at that point. Coach Cal not happy about that, as you might imagine. Going to like this, though. Final minute of the first half, Devin Booker for 3. Kentucky up by 4 at halftime. Then in the second half, this was when the wheels kind of came off the wagon for Tennessee. Andrew Harrison with the steal. Kentucky up by 8 with 8 minutes to go, and Tennessee didn't get any closer than that. The Wildcats end up winning it 66-48. The Vols have now lost 6 of their last 8 SEC games and will be on the road Saturday to take on Ole Miss. Coming up in sports, we will hear from head coach Donnie Tyndall and have more highlights. Laurie and Kristen.
Wow.
Well, the Lady Vols begin their stretch run tomorrow when they host Alabama. Tennessee has just 4 games remaining in the regular season, but they will have to play all 4 of those games and any potential postseason games without their leader, Isabel Harrison. Harrison was at practice today, but we told you Monday that she will miss the remainder of the season after tearing her ACL in this weekend's win over Kentucky. The players and coaches know it will be an adjustment without Izzy on the court, and Holly Warlick says everyone is going to have to pitch in. Will be interesting to see who steps up for the Lady Vols. The last 4 games look a lot like this. Thursday against Alabama, then Monday at South Carolina. That's a matchup of 2 top 10 teams, neither one of which has lost a game in conference play. February the 26th at Georgia, and then the Lady Vols will close out the season at home against Vanderbilt on Sunday, March the 1st. Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said today that former Vol Eric Berry's health is, quote, definitely headed in the right direction, end quote. Berry announced toward the end of last year that he'd be stepping away from football after he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Good news today on that front. The Maryville Scots have hired Sean Hayes as their next head coach. Hayes graduated from Maryville in 2006 and joined the Scots coaching staff soon after that. He takes over for Mike Rader, who left the program last week to become an assistant at ETSU. Hayes is a Rutledge native. In 2015 will be his 7th season at Maryville. Last year, he was an assistant coach and co-offensive coordinator for the Scots, so basically just moving up the chain there. It will be interesting to see how the Scots fare with him as the head coach next season. Finally tonight, VFL Chris Scott has signed a contract extension with the Carolina Panthers. The deal is for 1 year, and Tennessee's home series against Rutgers has been canceled this weekend. That means the Vols won't play at home until next week against Lipscomb. That's your look at sports. We're back right after this.